And we're back. We're totally not pretending we did the other segment before. Joining us, as promised, I hope I remember to say that later before, is Akeem Hoyte-Charles, comedian extraordinaire. And actually, Akeem, I just heard you're on a new show.
Yes, I'm acting now. I'm dabbling in the acting one, but thank you guys for having me. I'm happy to be here with my brothers, with my FPF brothers, my brethren. I miss you guys a lot. This whole
Same here, man. Same.
And me living on the other side of the world sucks.
Are you funnier on stand-up, or you're funnier when they film you and have to edit you?
That's a good question.
Here's the thing. Fuck you, Eagle. Are we allowed to say?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, fuck you, Eagle. No, it's a mix of both. It depends. It depends what your fancy. You feel me? If you fancy my stand-up, me as a human being, you'll appreciate my stand-up. If you fancy me acting like an idiot on command because someone told me to, or wrote it in the script, then you're gonna like that too. But I've been doing a lot of serious stuff. Listen, you guys don't understand. I'm a serious actor. Okay.
Yeah, you're on a show. You're telling me you're on a show. What is it?
Yeah, I can't tell you. I can't divulge that information until the season's.
Oh.
I signed an NDA. I can't.
Why? What's the point of that?
Is it a comedy show?
I can tell you it's on Warner. The only that's on
Warner. Okay. And is it a comedy? Like, can you tell us the type of show?
It's a combination of a bunch of different genres. They have funny moments and has serious moments.
So no is the answer. You can't tell us. Okay,
so
got you.
Are you more of like a hero, more of an antagonist, or more of like a background character?
Do you have a name, or are you like driver number 2?
Can we just address the disrespect, Eagle? I don't know how much vaginal activity he's been getting through quarantine, but the disrespect is real. I don't know where this sense of confidence came from. We used to be friends.
We pay him too much money.
Oh, that's it. You give him a little raise, you upgrade from pushing the Eagle sound to something else, and now look what you get. I don't like this, Eagle. I'm an actor. My stuff doesn't go straight to DVD anymore. It goes like streaming service.
That's awesome.
I'm trying.
What kind of streaming services? Because there's other streaming services that you might be on that,
Yeah, is there a monthly subscription I pay you to see you do things?
Or like POV?
I mean, listen, you guys are getting to the hard-hitting journalism. You guys are going to get me in trouble. Jesus Christ. It's regular streaming services like your Netflix, your Hulu's, your whatever stuff, Just regular shit.
So this is always an interesting pivot because we have Akeem on. Akeem's obviously very funny. I actually came out to see you back when we were allowed to go into public places. Enjoyed the show. It was awesome. For anyone who hasn't had a chance to check out Akeem's stand-up, please do if you can, because
you really pulled up to it.
I've seen you like 3 times. Yeah.
Yeah, you pulled up to a show, and you came. Was it Young Hollow that you came with too at the time?
I came with Hollow once, and I came with my girlfriend the other 2 times.
That's it. And then Eagle.
I know. See, you broke his trust. You broke his friendship. That's what
I liked his post on Twitter.
And now he's not even on Twitter anymore. So
that's it.
No, but
double tap that IG.
So the interesting pivot, of course, is that we would be remiss if we didn't have a serious conversation that I wish we would never have to have, but it is topical, and it's something, just having known Akeem for as long as I've known him, it's something I think he'd like to get into. And of course, Akeem, you're here too, so you can address it. And if you want to just stick to the funny, we can as well. But obviously, the Derek Chauvin trial is over. It was weirdly called the George Floyd trial in some media outlets. Weirdest thing I've ever seen. But it was absolutely the Derek Chauvin trial, because we can say it now with absolute. There's no one can come at us. It's an absolute fact.
Certainty.
The murder trial of Derek Chauvin, the murderer, because while it doesn't resolve all of the issues at all, it is a step in a positive direction. So I have a little thing to say about it in a second, but I do want to get your opinions on it first. What was your reaction when you first saw it?
I was fucking happy. I was in the gym screaming. People didn't know what the fuck I was so excited about. I'm like, take out this top 50 best catches and put on this fucking trial. I was trying to tell them. I was ecstatic. But it's not over yet, right? It's not done. He still has to get convicted, and we still need to see the time. Like, he could easily do 40 years with like 5 years before he can get parole, which is bullshit.
Yeah.
Right. So I want to see him get the book at him and actually see the full extent of the law expressed on him. Right. Because I think what black people or any like marginalized community needs is to see the law work on their side. A lot of people are like, oh, I hope he gets killed in jail. Da, 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 da. I'm like, no, I don't. At least for the next 8 weeks when he's in jail, no bail, I want him to be alive, and I want to see the justice system actually give him the full extent of the law. 40 years, 40 to life, no fucking early release, nothing. Just and show that the law is on our side. After that, whatever happens after that, fine. I don't give a shit. Like, see what you want. You know?
I think that he won't get. I don't think he's gonna get a full sentence. I think he'll somehow find a way to appeal. He'll probably get like a 10-year sentence or whatever the case may be, because there's still a lot of people out there that think it could have been manslaughter. I don't think anybody's saying that what he did was right, was justified. I mean, there are some idiots out there that are saying what he did was justified, but there are some people out there that are also saying like, okay, there was a toxology report and all this shit, but like, there's always an excuse. There's always a reason to why. To justify why a policeman killed somebody, and usually the person becomes. It's usually in the case where a policeman kills a black guy that people are always justifying why the police killed somebody. And in this situation, a lot of people think it should be manslaughter.
Yeah, he should have complied or whatever. I remember last year when this happened. I told my roommate at the time, I'm like, this is gonna be the one that changes shit. This is gonna be the one, because all the other like killings involving police. Were all knee-jerk reactions. There was a gunshot, right? It's all knee-jerk reaction. Oh, shit. Oh, I saw a cell phone, but I thought it was a gun. Boom, he's dead. Oh, I reacted too quickly. But at this point, at first we thought he had 8 minutes and 46 seconds to change his mind. Then we realized he had almost 10 minutes. You had every opportunity to stop what you were doing to change his mind. If he had lifted up for at least a second, half an inch of pressure, George Floyd might be alive today. So that's what made people realize and like, oh shit, there's a serious problem.
When I try to explain to people that say that that he had heart problems because of all the drugs and stuff like that, I said, you don't understand. When you're being choked out, it takes a really long time. Mm-hmm. And your body does a lot of things when the oxygen isn't going to your brain. And I know this, having studied martial arts and having choked a bunch of people out. You choke people out and it makes them go out. The oxygen stops in the brain, and he's saying, I can't breathe. Another thing is that, having studied mixed martial arts my entire life, is realizing that 3 cops had to hold this guy down for what? For what? We see all these cops, they have no idea what they're doing. People say defund the police, whatever. I think there should be more money into training and all that shit, but we can get into that another day. Yeah, it's ridiculous. But I'm happy that something's happened today and that maybe we'll see a change. And to your point, Akeem, that was the case. I just think that the media blew it way out of proportion.
I mean, I wouldn't say they blew it out of proportion. Yeah, well, they had to, because it was huge. It was the most shocking murder on TV in the longest period of time, right? But for me, it's like we go 2 steps forward to convict Derek Chauvin, and then we go 10 steps back because there were literally 3 murders the next day.
Yeah. It's
her gun was a taser. Boom.
What an idiot.
It's frustrating for sure, but I will say this, and I'm a little bit older than you guys, and for all I know, you might remember this as much as I do. But I have very vivid memories of the LA riots and the response to the Rodney King beatings. Now, the LA riots weren't a response to the beatings. They were a response to the police officers not being found guilty for anything but the sort of the least charge that was out there. And I was like, my God, that was something that happened literally 30 years ago. And I was thinking to myself, I was talking to colleagues and I said, if 30 years ago we saw it happen on film, and there was no accountability. And if in 30 years there isn't accountability, then we've made absolutely no progress. So at the very least, we now see that there's accountability in one of the most important jobs in the world, upholding justice, right? Upholding, protecting people, serving and protecting people, right? So we now know that there is accountability, and that's where we can actually start. Like, this is the starting point. It took 30 years to get to the starting point.
Yeah, that's actually my worry about the whole thing, though, right? Like, people are calling Darnella Frazier a hero because she managed to record the whole thing. There's a question in my mind of, what if they hadn't had the film? Would he still have been convicted?
How many times isn't there the film?
Exactly, And so, is the message to cops to treat people with respect or to not get caught on film?
Yeah.
That's the fucking question. That's the question. And I don't know if you guys watched the trial live or anything, but there was something that the prosecution said that really stuck to me. It's like, is it policing or your pride? Right? A lot of times, I spend too much time on Facebook watching these like cops pull over people for absolutely no reason. I watched one the other day where a guy had an air freshener in his window, and the cop said, you can't have anything deterring you from your vision. And he's like, can I license registration? He's like, what the fuck? Like, this makes no sense, right? And he's like, I don't have to do any of this stuff. I'm not. And then the ego gets into play, and then we end up with murders. But what I do want to say is, I want to shout out to you three, because being black, right, and being like growing up in Canada and probably being a token black guy everywhere I've gone in my entire fucking life, having white friends who get it is very important, and it's appreciative, and you guys are spreading it out. Like, it's fucking dope to have people in my life that, like, I don't have to sit here and explain. I can just sit back and watch, and y'all like, this is stupid, this makes no sense, and it's like, I ain't gotta say shit, man. They get me. You guys get me. I love you guys, and I appreciate. Let's so Eagle, because he's talking shit. But I appreciate you guys, honestly, because it's we need you. I need you guys, right? I need you guys.
There's a couple of things that I saw around the time, as the trial was coming to a close, and one was saying that if you don't understand what black people are going through right now, you don't have black friends, you know black people, and I thought that was
that was
Popovich.
Yeah, and then another thing I saw was John Amici, ex-NBA player. He actually said it's not enough to not be racist. You have to be anti-racist, and that's how you actually see change. If you actually stand up against it, and that's something we've done from the beginning, because we said, you know what, we're owners of our own network, so we can talk. I don't even consider it politics. Race isn't politics. It's only become that in the last 4 years. But I don't have a problem talking about it. Terry's not a problem talking about it. Eagle's not a problem talking about it. So we're going to.
And I will say, and Pease and I'm more right-wing conservative than Eagle and Pease are, that's for sure. But we still agree on a basic fact, and it's not about politics. It's a social justice issue, and people have to figure that out, because as soon as you start looking, listen, I'm not saying that all these people online, these alt-right guys and like Ben Shapiro and all these people, they're not wrong. I'm not disagreeing with them, but I just think that they see it differently. And the reason is if you just have to have conversations. If you have a conversation with somebody, you'll start seeing it differently too.
There's this guy, Steven Crowder. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
Yeah, I know him very well, actually.
Yeah, Steven.
I'm actually a fan with like 90% of what he says. Yeah, because he's from Montreal. He's a jiu-jitsu guy.
Yeah, Ormstown. I only liked when he did Arthur. That was it. Other than that, I don't fuck with him. Right? But he went online and he made a video trying to debunk the George Floyd, just how he died, right?
Yeah, I saw that.
And it's like, you're watching it and you're sitting there and like, see, I could talk perfectly. And I'm like, and I could breathe. I'm like, yeah, but here's one fundamental difference between what your display and what happened to George Floyd is that the person that's leaning on you isn't on your fucking neck.
Yeah.
Or else you would be dead. Like, you're literally proving the point that we're trying to make. Your video wouldn't be a thing if you died in the video.
Mm-hmm. But that's the thing. Like, that was the weirdest defense to me, where it was like, you're trying to convince me that the thing I saw with my eyes is not what happened. Yo, I watch Fast and Furious. I know that shit is about family. I know it's about family, so I know what I'm watching at all times. I know when I'm watching a murder, and that's a murder.
I'm trying to remember who it was. It was like a radio host that was super like, oh, waterboarding's not torture, blah, blah, blah. And they brought in a guy to do it. The guy didn't last fucking 1 second. The moment the water touched his face, he's like, yep, fuck this shit, I'm out.
Yeah, it's the worst, man.
Of course not. But like, again, it's easy for these people to kind of, but that's their thing though. That's their market, that's their lane. And I've always said that's the problem with American politics, right? You don't have anybody who's like Terry, who is middle right or middle left, or like, you know what I mean? Right. Like, how the fuck are you gonna run a country off two parties? You're lumped in with the extremes. If you're a conservative, just because you make X amount of dollars a year and you don't want to pay $1,000, a fucking how much money, millions of dollars in taxes, right? You're lumped in with the fucking racist fucking guy who lives in a trailer park. That makes no sense.
Exactly.
Like, all bullshit aside, people talk about Canadian politics, but we have like fucking 5 different parties. Like,
yeah,
it makes like,
prominent ones too, to the point where like the Parti Québécois, they get votes in Manitoba. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. But I mean, if a party has something here, at least, you know, a lot of people are sensible enough to be like, no, that's a red line. Like, I don't cross that, right? Like, I can agree with everything else, but this is something I fundamentally have to disagree with and can't support you. The U.S., you disregard everything and single issue, you know?
But that's a thing that's weirdly appealing to a younger and younger demographic, is sort of like just aligning with a specific party. I've always looked at stuff and said, well, I agree with this on this specific issue. On this other issue, I don't have to agree with you because I agreed on something else. Literally, that's what Terry and I do every week on this show. So why would it be different in politics?
But the problem is that you're forced to pick one of the two, right? So, and what happens is that because you pick one, you feel the need that you have to agree with everything that's said. You know what I mean? And that's the problem with people in the States. It's like you're so conditioned to have to believe that, okay, well, if I'm on this side, everything they say has to be right. I have to believe this. I have to do that.
Which is crazy. Why would you think a politician's being honest at any time?
Yeah, like I'm not an anti-Trumper in any way, but I'm not pro-Trump either. Like, I'm kind of like, listen, I don't think he was that bad of a president. I don't think he's racist. I just think he just doesn't know how to shut the fuck up sometimes. And I don't agree with everything he says, but I also, like, I'm not gonna lump myself in. Just because I would have supported Trump if I was in the States, it doesn't mean that I'm pro-abortion, pro-life, or whatever it is. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean
or pro-Proud Boys or pro.
I was gonna say, sometimes
he's definitely racist. I'm just going.
I don't think so.
Sometimes it feels like, oh yeah, you know, I'm all for like a balanced budget, you know, conservative spending, social programs, and also eating your firstborn child. And people are like, well, those social programs, though, you know,
great, yeah, they're fantastic.
That's great. But overall, back to the Chauvin case, I'm just happy that we can see it come to fruition, because a lot of people were very like pessimistic. A lot of people didn't believe that it would happen or anything. Yeah, and I just want but we need to go after. All the people, Sandra Bland, Breonna Taylor, they walked into her house, killed her while she was asleep. Like, this should be the beginning, like P said, to the reform. This should be domino number one.
Let's hope it is. What was, just to lighten it up a little bit, what was your reaction, Akeem, to seeing the Raiders social media coming out with the slogan "We can breathe" with yesterday's date? I know what they meant. Oh, sorry, I can breathe. I know what they meant, but it didn't come off well, considering that it was the anti-protest slogan from earlier in the year.
I think that whoever's on that marketing team needs to get a degree. Because, like, no, because listen, and the Raiders, here's the thing about the Raiders. The Raiders have always done some type of finicky, like, type of shit all their fucking life. Like, you have the quarterback, what's his name?
Derek Carr.
Yeah, Derek Carr, sorry. Derek Carr. Coming out saying a bunch of shit about Trump and stuff that would really piss a lot of black people off when your entire offensive line is from the hood.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you have arguably the blackest team in the league. Like, short of the Houston Texans, I don't know a blacker team.
And even historically, right? Like, historically, the Raiders have been a very, very black team in a time where it wasn't.
Because the
all the kids that went to USC and only got in because they had an 800 scored, you had 500 for writing your name on the SATs, and they couldn't make it through school, they went to the Raiders. That's exactly
Apparently, it was Mark Davis's idea, by the way. So that also tells you all his marketing staff are yes men.
Look at this haircut.
Yeah, that means he hired.
The guy's making bad decisions on a daily basis with that haircut. No shit, he's making that decision. So, Akeem,
I'm just in terms of race issues, I think out of all the teams in the league, the Raiders need to really kind of like dot their I's, cross their T's, and make sure what they put out there makes sense before the entire team fucking revolts.
So, Akeem, you said before that you appreciate us and how, we're white guys and you're always the token guy. Does this mean that when I'm listening to a rap song, I don't have to skip that word? I can just kind of
you definitely have to skip it.
I still have to skip it?
Listen,
it's so annoying, man. And there's some songs I'm like, every 10 words.
I'm gonna tell you this. I talk about it all the time. I say, listen, if you want your N-word pass, just give me $5 and I'll give you one of those little punch card things, and then you can punch it out and say each time you just, what I'm saying, I'll punch it out for you.
You just reminded me actually, because when I was playing football at Vanier, I got the pass.
From who?
Callan Exeter, safety.
Yes, but here's the thing: you only got that pass within the locker room.
No, it was in the cafeteria at Vanier. I was out and about. Like, there was a lot of people.
I don't know about that one.
No, but I only got the pass for songs, not for like everyday life. I would never drop it.
Yeah. What's like, I got it in the song. Because I don't care if other people say it. Like I would often travel growing up to New York, travel to New York, spend 6 months out of the year there from like birth up until there. You can't tell no Puerto Rican not to say the word nigga. Like they'll fight. Right? Yeah. So for me, I personally don't care. But mind you, I will say this. Not every black person is as liberal as me. So if you're going to say it, I mean, listen, everyone here has been in traffic on the fucking 20. I understand it. It slips out, so you get cut off. I get it. Right? But if you're around other black people, don't expect them to react like me.
Like Freaks and Geeks and King Kunta are like my two favorite songs of all time, and they say it a lot in those songs, especially in King Kunta. And I'm like, fuck, it's like I can't and no Vaseline. Come on, like real motherfucking.
I've heard an argument that if people actually want people to stop saying it, it actually has to start with people in the black community basically saying we're done with this word, we don't want to use it anymore, type of thing.
We're not done with it. It's a great word. It rolls off the tongue. I love it. I say it. Everybody, and honestly, it should compliment to you guys, right? Because I remember calling. I remember being out here, and again, there's no black people here. Like it's insane. Like 95% of the black people all play for the Lions. Like that's it, and then they just leave, and then I'm stuck here by myself. It's crazy. But I was at a show, and I was hosting it, and I went up. And I'm like, "Hey, yo, I just want to introduce my boy. This is my nigga right here. I love him to death. Please give it up for such and such." He walks up on stage and I was like, is it weird that I got a warm, fuzzy feeling when he called me the N-word? I don't know why. I just got this sense of confidence that I never had before.
It always reminds me of the Key and Peele skit where it's Obama and he's shaking everybody's hand.
Yep.
And he's like when it's a black guy, he gives like a really cool handshake with a white guy. He's like, "How are you, sir?" Yeah. And they hug each other. He's like, "No."
Did you ever go see a clip of Obama in the locker room at who was it? It was with
KD, and he shook and he
but I don't know if it was OKC or if he was with Golden State at the time. But either way, he goes, shakes hands. That's how we have to do. Listen, there's some friends that I had growing up at Vanier that I would try to do the down, and they'd be like, how much Naruto do you watch? Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, I'm just like, I'm just trying to show you some love. Like,
hey, that was a shot at Eagle, by the way, because Eagle loves the shit out of Naruto's, man.
No, I don't. Fuck you.
Yeah, you're a Naruto guy.
Dragon Ball Z all day. I'm a Dragon Ball Z kid.
Eagle, like,
on the next episode.
Eagle's playing Pokemon like right now.
Nothing fucking happened this entire week.
So, Akeem, thank you again for joining us. Whenever you can, talk to us about the show you're on. Definitely come back so we can promo it. Because we want to support what you're doing.
You guys are getting exclusive.
Absolutely. Yeah. Looking forward to it.
Can you give us one teaser? Are you on the opening credits? Or do I have to wait all the way to the end on like the third or fourth page?
Like will my name be in the opening credits? I don't think for this one. But another project, yes.
All right, cool. Oh, more projects. Yeah.
By the way, I'm still working. By the way, if this gets out, I always have to do this for every podcast that I'm at. Hey, Marvel. If this gets out, guys, holla at your boy. I'm here for it. I can be whatever you want. I'll be an X-Men's coming. I can be an X-Men. Please holla at your boy.
First Black Spider-Man.
He'll be henchman number 47. He wants to be on Marvel so bad.
I want a costume. Yeah. Fuck that. No, I want a costume. I want a superpower. I want a superpower. I want a costume. I want to be able to fly or do something. I wanted to get the Human Torch, but they already started shooting it, so I can't.
Yeah.
But in your defense, that movie is going to be awful anyways. Yeah. So better off skipping it. It's a Fantastic Four movie. Of course, it's going to be terrible.
But it's Marvel running it though. It's not Sony. It's not Fox. I mean, sorry.
I don't know. They've burned my trust too many times.
The first ever conversation, one of the first conversations I had with Akeem was actually about comic books. So definitely he's got the credentials.
Nerds.
Thank you for joining us. Hopefully next time it can be just a good time. There we go.
Here, play with me.
I got papers too,
man. Talk soon, my man.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I appreciate you guys. Keep doing what you do. I just want to say I'm really proud of you guys. Like the fact that Hot Sauce Sports has been going and the way you guys have it set up with the studios and then you guys are doing it via Skype, it's amazing. I'm just saying upgrade to Zoom because this is fucking ridiculous. I can't 30 minutes to log into this shit.
Yeah, it's all Eagles' fault. It's all Eagles' fault.
Yeah. And we're not doing No Nut May this year. Fuck that. I'm not doing that bullshit ever again.
I'm not doing it either.
Bet. I didn't even know what I was betting on. I was like, I told Terry, I was like, I don't know, May 6th, and I want pictures. Like, pictures.
Pictures or it didn't happen.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for having me. I love you guys.